A plane, holding 45 passengers, heads towards Santiago, Chile for a rugby match. It encounters bad weather and crashes. 8 people fall to their death. 8 more die when the plane contacts the ground. With his last breath, the co-pilot informed the survivors that they had crashed in Chile. However, they actually crashed in Argentina. The place in which they landed was so remote that it did not have a name. The crash site was surrounded by mountains. Nothing was visible except for miles and miles of snow, ice, and rock. The plane was nothing but the body, with the wings no longer intact. For 10 days, the remaining 29 passengers ate nothing but rationed chocolate bars. When the chocolate supply diminished, there was nothing more to eat. They attempted to consume seats, luggage bags, and shoes. Nothing was satisfactory. Their bodies entered starvation mode, and they began to ingest their own internal organs and muscles. They then began to consider other means of sustenance.
Adolfo, Nando is crazy. He wants to eat the pilot. And Adolfo told me, he's not that crazy. My cousins and I have already been thinking about that.
The first person that the survivors consumed was the pilot. Nando Parrado, the man who decided to eat the pilot first, explained that he felt more comfortable starting with the pilot because he didn't know him as well as the others. Many think that the idea was brought up for retaliation. However, Nando explained that this was not the case. To explain to themselves why they partook in the act of cannibalism, the survivors related their means of survival to Jesus Christ. They believed that just as Jesus distributed his body and blood, so did the dead.
And all of a sudden the body responded in a favorable way where they felt some strength, maybe some flow of energy back in the body. This was a glimmer of hope where they can survive and be rescued.
The survivors also explained that what they did was not cannibalism. Cannibalism is when you kill to eat with a spiritual value. They say that they took part in anthropogeny, the eating of human flesh, just an act with no underlying value. In later years, when asked about whether or not the act of cannibalism was illegal, Nando was irritated. He compared this to being morally equivalent to a heart transplant, something no longer needed by the dead, but could be used to prolong the life for the living. Theologians agree that no real moral issues were involved. Humans do what they must to survive, and that's what the men of the Andes crash did. And today, they're alive.